Should we have a look? What are you actually looking at? Easily entertained, huh? Hmm. Hey, what's up? It's Kurtis from the Unitcast, and today we are returning to a game that I'd long forgotten about up until recently, and that is Planet Coaster. Now, I think it'd be safe to say years ago I was doing a series on this. Actually, I don't know. I'll probably have to check. Should have probably checked beforehand, but in the interest of not boring the shit out of you all, let's let's actually get on with it. So we're here in the entrance. You got well, it's a teleport. Let's be honest. Big cave. There's a joke in there somewhere with this small path in a big cave, but I'll leave that one for you guys to figure out. So the park entrance. Don't ask me what the overall theme is because I could not tell you. It's a few things. I think it's kind of this idea of an old castle, which is what Alton Towers is. It's got Alton Towers in it. Google it. I'm not going to try and explain it. But also, I kind of liked the idea of some, I won't say rural, but more regional theme parks, some smaller theme parks over in the US, where a lot of it's kind of carnival. That's the word I was looking for. It's quite carnival, and it's all wood. There's another YouTuber, a big YouTuber who does Planet Coaster stuff, and he nails it. I'll try and find the link and put it in the description. But essentially, there's a lot of different ideas that have gone into this. Now, granted, this entrance building is for the better part stock, so it's a pre-made, it's a prefab that comes with the game. But I've edited the building, put things here and there. This should really brush up on English. This extended roofway, if that's what you want to call it. Obviously, that's mine. The buildings that are actually inside it is what I've done, any cameras, etc. And you'll see a repeated theme with these style of buildings. I don't know why I like it so much. It's kind of it's almost like a manor state home that you'd find here in the UK, like kind of in more rural areas, but rich rural areas. Kind of gives you the idea of these quite posh hotels that you tend to find. There's one near me actually. I won't say the name, but there is one that it reminds me greatly of, and I think it's a bit more of there's a vibe to this, which I quite like. So it's not trying to copy a particular park. If any of you can figure out what park this is most like, then fair enough. Put it in the comments, and I'm more than happy to go and have a look, and I'll do some comparisons. But what I'm trying to get across is this is just kind of a concatenation of a few ideas put together. I'm not trying to copy a particular park. I'm not trying to copy any particular rides. It's just whatever happens, which is how I base a lot of my designs. Which is why I end up losing inspiration quite quickly because I'm only as good as my own imagination, which is limited for the better part. So after I said I wasn't going to bore you, you're now bored. So let's get on with it. So what I've done is just made this nice entry area. Now the flow could probably be a little bit better, but to be fair, not a lot of people are going to be messing around here because obviously these, if you know Planet Coaster, these are the park entrances that they class as. Now there are park entrances underneath here, but they're just sunken down, and I've blended them in with the scenery. Now the original idea was to have information booths here for priority passes, which is, again, if you're completely unfamiliar with Planet Coaster, I suggest go and have a look at a couple of other videos that describe Planet Coaster a little bit better, because I'm not going to go through everything, what information booths do and all the rest of it. I'll go into minor detail, but I'll end up waffling like I have so far. I don't remember probably 5 minutes into the video. And I'll probably even cut it out either, so there you have it. No, so the idea being was that these were going to be information booths. Just for, I thought people might use it a little bit more because I know in Planet Zoo they use them quite a bit. It's not the case, so they're shut now. But that's what these queues were here. They were there to try and mimic obviously a queue, and then they were just entryways and more exit ways. But you can't define that. Shut them, but I decided to leave it all in because it looks quite nice. Put some railings in, put some nice lights. I'll do a nighttime cinematic tour later on. But you'll see a repeated theme of quite rich colours in any kind of floral areas where I've put planters down, anything like that. You'll see the rose bush quite a bit, and this is the path that you'll find throughout the park. Fences wise, I've not gone too nuts because that's where I start getting bored. So nothing much more special. Again, lampposts. This was a whole vibe thing. I didn't want to go too modern because that's just boring. That's where I wouldn't have even made this video, to be perfectly honest. If I used lights like that all the time, no, this video wouldn't be happening. I'd have got bored already. ATM machines, staff room, blah blah blah, toilets, more information booths that were here originally. They were an afterthought, I'll be honest. Just trying to keep everything that needs to be at the front more accessible, because you don't want your guests to have to wander around for years to finally get to what they want. So with that and the big clock, that opens up into the huge entry. I always think of this like Disneyland Paris, if you've ever been, or what I'd imagine Disneyland Orlando would be like. There's always these huge roads going from the entryway all the way down, and it kind of obviously eventually just splits off and takes you into different sectors of the park. That's exactly what I was going for here. I didn't want to use a roundabout design, which I've done too many times in the past, where this would just be one big roundabout for people and it just kind of wanders off in its own direction. So I will be filling in these planters once I've found the I was going to say something, but I'm trying to keep this video as PG as possible. When I find the, not the time, but when I find the inspiration to finally fill these in, because it's not the most exciting jobs, I will do. So the trees are there for show. Placeholders, that's what I was after, placeholders. So there you have it. Anyway, moving on. This is the gift stand. Now obviously it's not as grand as that opening, which you don't want your park to be rich, full of headline buildings, especially this close together. Headline buildings. I'm struggling with English today. I've not had to do a video speaking, and I've not had to interact with people for so long. I'm really starting to suffer from it. But yeah, the whole idea behind this one is it's got quite a modern look to it. It's quite sleek and it's quite low key, whilst remaining within the general theme of the building style that I've been going for, and keeping it quite low key. I think I'm just repeating myself, but we'll ignore that. So yeah, you've got all the gift stalls. So you've got just a memento, which people don't particularly like, balloons, and then what's this one? Hats Fantastic. They kind of go through their own little cycles of being popular. When one of them gets too busy, the others pick up, and then that one will drop off again. Yeah, cycles. Put 2 in each because people complain when there's too long a queue. So these 2 over here for hats, that'll be considered as too long a queue. So made it accessible on both sides, just because I don't want to be awkward and have too much traffic flow coming. Even though these are quite wide, too much traffic coming down here would be a nightmare for rubbish, and B, guests will start complaining about it and your park rating will go down. So just having this accessible into this main path is, obviously people use it as a shortcut, but I'm not too bothered about it. Staff room and toilets, more staff rooms and toilets. Don't worry, my English will get better as the video goes on. and that's that building. It does what it needs to do, and that's that. So no complaints over here. Again, similar type of building, just I've put a roof on this one. And why is Lucky Balloons? Oh no, so this one was here originally just before I built out the rest of the park, just to get guests to come in. So although I have done this park in sandbox, I'm treating it as if it is on career mode. So I'm focusing on what the guests want, taking the staff needs seriously, and essentially the only thing that I'm essentially cheating on is not having to do research and not having limited amounts of money. Everything else I'm taking seriously. So I'd put these down just to make sure that the guests were actually happy. So I put in some gift shops, just because why not? And then that building followed on later on because people complain about this too much. This building will eventually go. I'm probably going to, I don't know what I'm going to replace it with. Might make it a little bit bigger. But essentially, this area here with these trees, that's what I'm working with, and you'll see why I'm going to get rid of this in a little bit. So obviously, let's address the elephant in the room and talk about this huge open area here where it's some quite nice paths. Clearly by the trees, it's quite a well-groomed area. Obviously, got this monument here in the middle, and so on and so forth over here. So you've got this massive body of open water. What's going to go here? Any rides? No rides. This is designed as the nature part, which this part is a little bit more inspired by the theme park that I went to recently. They've got like a huge gardens bit where it's not a particular ride, it's just a nice area to walk around. I just quite like the idea of having that. And obviously with a hotel being here, ignore the planet coaster, I just wanted a sign, and you can't make custom signs in this, not easily anyway. So made this entire hotel. Yep, it is more of the entryway buildings. I just didn't see a point in building. Right, third time lucky. I'm gonna get through this. Right. This is the hotel. I don't know where I'll have cut it from, but I'm gonna have to cut out quite a big section. Oh, cheers computer, nice freeze. So yeah, this hotel is partly the entryway building. I've just done a little bit of manipulation, copy and pasted it, edited the building quite a bit. Reason being was because I didn't want to build a whole custom building. You don't take the time to do that when the way that I wanted it to look was pretty much not identical, but give a quite a nod to the entryway. I just thought, why not? I'm not on Planet Hotel. Let's be honest. So it does the job. And it looks good, and it keeps in with the theme that I was looking at. So again, the hotel and the open body of water just goes hand in hand, really, doesn't it? It gets good nature. What's the word? Nope. Still not coming to me. Nope. This English isn't getting better at all, is it? It gets good ratings. Why am I struggling so much? He's getting good ratings. So that's the main thing. So yeah, that's all I've got to say. Now this is still a work in progress. I'm going to take these flags down. Don't worry. But this open body of water goes hand in hand with the hotel as a bit more of not a nature reserve, but a nature walk. And it's just quite a nice area within the park. Now, as you can see, the entryway into the park, and this path in particular, is pretty much dead center. This is off center, which usually would wind me up, but I quite like it. I'm enjoying that it's off center, because symmetrical parks again out of this video wouldn't have happened at all. I'd have got bored with it. So just trying a load of different things. I don't know why I thought I'd go in there. It's so yeah, you've got the entryway into the hotel, and people have started to love it now that I've sorted a few things out with cleaning. And yeah, this is the main type of building, and I think this is one of the last buildings that you'll see of this type, because the building types are going to change drastically, and that's just in the nature of keeping things fresh. Caribbean style buildings. Yeah, I know. So this is the main food court. Get used to the trees, there's a lot of them. So you've got all your food, so you've got the, what is that, Chief Beef, Cosmic Cow, Hot Dog Squad, Mexilante, I always forget what the donut one's called. Donut Shop, and Muncho Fritz. It sells fries. Let's leave it at that. Where are you off to? Get back to work? Or is there a closed stand somewhere? No, I should be taking over from someone. Such a forceful boss, aren't I? No. Right, going around the other side, you got the staff room back there. You got the pip shop, Gluppy. You got more Gluppy around here. That'll be the slushy and smoothie, I'd imagine. And then you just got some misc, toilets, and first aid. So you got everything in the food court. Oh, hello. I need to get control of my mouse. So this is one of the seating areas, with another over here. You've got the bulk of them over here. You've got benches littered all around the park because people are lazy. I've been fighting issues with people saying that they're too tired, and when I finally read into it, it's because they want more benches to sit down, which, now that I think about it, makes sense, but still, lazy sods, just go to the food court. Anyway, that was the other main area that I could, oh no, there is one other huge food court, but that's quite a bit away. So what I'll do, we'll go through this side of the park first, which, when I was up in the air, you might have seen is actually the kind of, it's all a static ride, so it's not like the coasters too much. Now there are two coasters over here, but they're a bit more of a junior or family orientated ride. So if I go over here, you're going to get a good overview of what I've done so far. So the path kind of lines out where I'm going to do most of my work, which that kind of evolves on its own. So for anyone that might be interested in knowing how I go about this one was just purely what happened. There was no strategic plan to it, except from the general layout, the overhead. So this area would be the carnival, like I'd call it carnival section, because you got dodgems, you've got the chair swings, you've got the merry-go-round, you have got the spinny thingy. The names of each rider are all orientated around spinny thingy, spin me, spin chair. I think I called the merry-go-round hell because I couldn't think of anything worse. Can't remember what I called the dodgems. But anyway, point is, these are a lot of the static rides. So they're all what you'd find at a fun fair if you're in the UK, or a carnival fair if you're in the US. That obviously is the exception to this and another ride. So this is a bit more of a intense ride compared to the other one. But this ride is individual cars. These cars spin, and you just go around the track. So it's a little bit cat and mousey, but not quite as aggressive. You come off cat and mouse rides with bruises. As you can see, oh wow, I didn't actually realise how popular it was. Where's that up to? I'm pressing all the wrong keys here. Got a new. Sorry about the clicky clack of the keyboard, by the way. I've got a new keyboard. My old one finally gave up, and that one was an ergonomic. It was like curvy, and it finally gave up the ghost. So I've had it for 4 years, so fair enough. Anyway, not that you cared. Tried to keep this building in line with the other buildings. It's just I needed a bit more of a modern slant on it because I knew I wanted a kind of like veranda type thing. Essentially an extended roof and separate buildings for toilets and some other food vending machines, because I really don't want to litter the shops. I don't want to litter the park with a load of shops and have a load of staff overhead. It's just not. It's not the one. I'd rather need more technicians to come and fix these than more than anything, and leave the food courts to be the food courts. So yeah, that's what's under here. I'm not going to go through each and every little bit and show you each bin to that extent. There's not much more to see inside here. This one was a quick throw together because this was early on. So yeah, I just threw it all together pretty quickly. I've done a little bit of ride. Get out the tree. I've done a little bit of ride. What's the word? Decorations. Ride decoration. My lord, I'm having some proper issues, aren't I? Anyway, I'm a bit rusty. Leave me alone. All right. I forgot I called it that. I'm not saying anything. Right. Thumbnail. Got him. Dragon ride. Not much more to say. It's kids ride. Preset. Didn't care. Put that in because why not? There you have it. It's pretty boring. I'm not putting you on that one. Really? There's no bins down here. Right. Should probably sort that. The one path that doesn't have bins. Oh, there's a bin right there. Oh, come on. Really? It's not that far. Here's the floating toilet of Pirine Park. Apparently Harry Potter decided to make an appearance and made me building float. Or I just really fucked up when I put it down. So yeah, so you've got all these different rides. You've got a staff house over here that's hidden just for the staff. I'm not really too bothered about it. And styling around them is just, I'm just putting trees down. I've used a combination of oak and I want to say spruce, but I know they're not. But essentially I've used autumn variants as well, which I know, along with those maple trees. They're not maple trees. Something similar. I know it's high, you might call it a little unrealistic with how it looks, but I think it looks pretty, so we're leaving it. So there you have it. So as we make our way over here, you've got the more teen and adult static rides. So you've got one of the highest rated sci-fi rides over here. It's never highly popular, but it's always got a queue and there's always good reviews about it. Couldn't tell you why, but there you have it. You've got another food building over here that again was in before I did the food court, but even so, that is required. People do get hungry in between there and there. Would you believe it? You got the cube. I think I've called it the cube. I don't know what it's actually called. This thing looks incredibly aggressive. If I ever came across one of these in real life, I probably wouldn't go on it, I'm not gonna lie. Highly popular, as you can see. People queuing out the main entrance to the ride. Yeah, it was popular when I opened it, I promise. More vending machines. Christ, oh, I know why this is so rammed. Before I get over there, let me go back up into the sky. You've got this one, which, as you can see, is incredibly popular, which at first it wasn't, but as soon as I started putting more decorations around the outside of it, it became this. Well, the queue became this long, which I know it looks quite long now, but this queue's actually only half full. Queue still goes all the way back down there yet. But I think the wait time on it's quite high. I won't worry about it. This one you can't go nuts with decorations. I do need to put a load of bushes in because trees aren't possible because obviously this thing's flying around. So you've got that. And then finally you've got the 3-arm spinny thing, which I think that's exactly what I've called it. It's the most recent addition to this static rides, and I think that's where I'll be leaving it. I might put one more, but what you've got now is essentially me running the risk of damaging the view from the hotel. I know it's not necessary, but there is a certain aesthetic that I am going for, like I say. And putting any bigger rides here in this space, I don't think is going to be. I don't think it's going to look right, because I think all that I've got left now is much taller ones, which I don't want to put in. So I don't know what I'm going to put in here. I think I might end up with a go-kart track. I'm not too sure, but we'll get there. We'll see. Right then, to the part that you've probably been skipping along the video for. The first major ride. Building wise, it's got a hint of the theme that I was going for, but as you start getting into like the bigger, more modern rides, I have kept the buildings going up with that theme. That is modern. So all I've done is put these white beams in with some slate roofing. I think it's red brick roofing, I think it's called. Put glass in, and there are elements of wood here, there and everywhere, as you can see. That's just some nice decorations to come back into the station for. Now if I just swing round onto the path side there, I don't know, I do like it. What? Hello? Who the fuck? Right, I know exactly how they've been there for far too for far too long. Oh lord. Anyway, they're not meant to be there. Hello. Don't look down, especially if you're scared of heights. What are you even What are you staring at? Should we have a look? What are you actually looking at? Easily entertained, huh? Anyway, swiftly moving on, because that's... Who would let you dress today? Like sandals, blue shorts? I mean, you can't even get the same shade of blue on you. No, I'm being judgy. Right, no. Can't do that. It's 2021. Anyway. I've not done too much in here, again. I've made it look a little bit better than some of the other stations that I've done, but I've not put too much effort into it. This is one of the droppers, so I can't remember the actual name of the ride that it comes as in the game. Oh, it's Dive, Athlon Dive or something like that. To me, I know this is Oblivion. That's the version that I've been on in real life. It's called Oblivion, Alton Towers, obviously. I just didn't want it to be too short, but I didn't want to potentially tarnish the ratings on it, so I'm going to unpop. Wow, that's loud. Yeah, no, let's pause that again. Let's not do that. Point is, I don't want to take it on for too long. I didn't want it to be too aggressive. I wanted it to be, a fan favourite. All adults and teens are going to be happy going on it. And the scariest thing that they've got to endure is this drop right here, which goes into fiery depths of the mountain. That's not so fiery, and actually quite almost angelic with some nice blues. Ignore that for a sec. It comes back out up here. Does a loop down there and comes out over there, up in the station, obviously. And that's that. Now, I will be going on the rides at the end, so once I've shut up and I've said my byes and what have you, I'll do the cinematics and I'll leave all the the ride cams in. Then to be fair, you've not got long to wait for that. But yeah, well liked ride. I was quite impressed with how it turned out in the end. Now, a reoccurring theme, God, effort me. I didn't put my phone on silent. Let's put that on silent right now, because the unit cast group chat will be the one that's going to do me in on the video. What was I saying? No, recurring theme. Recurring theme is a lot of these rides I've done the basics on, but I've not decorated heavily. Number one, that is to get the rest of the park done. Number two, frame rate. Obviously, it's coping alright so far. Now, my PC usually isn't alright with stuff like this, but it's doing alright. So, yeah, I'm trying not to go too crazy. I will do smaller ultra build parks in the future. You know, it's got 4 rides, but the rides are incredibly detailed, if maybe even once. With some of the Steam Workshop items I've seen, yeah, things have changed since last time I played this game. But recurrent theme will be, I've not done too much, so I know it looks kind of barren with it just appearing out of a hole in a mountain and then buggering off back down. You get the odd glimpse here, and that'd be that. Why have I built it underground? A, view again, and B, I quite enjoy a mix of in scenery. So because I'm too lazy and I can't be bothered building massive buildings to let the rides go around, I've been there, done that. It was hours out of my life that, yes, I was proud of, but I don't fancy doing it every single time I want to build a ride like this. So I just let it go through the train. Anyone who's played this game will know what I mean. It looks just as good if you do it right. So that's why you can see all the lights. Anyway, moving on. What I'll do in the edit is the name of the ride that we're currently sat on when we do the ride cams. I'll do an annotation and tell you what I've called it and the ride type and what have you. Anyway, so this is one of the main, what I call the main artery paths. So this path extends all the way from that one. So this is still the same path. So I'm thinking about customer flow, and that takes you all the way up into here. So this is the upper food court. So again, recurring themes of these Caribbean buildings, and I've not replaced the signage. They do have separate. No, they don't. I'm telling you a lie. They've got the exact same. Oh well, it's working. They've got the exact same shops, staff room, first aid, toilets, all the rest of it. Nice scenery. Quick stutter from the old PC there. Bins, benches. What more do you want? Oh, you want this ride, right? Beautiful. This was going to originally be the food court with a load of vending machines. Well, not food court, but this was going to be like the exit to the ride with a load of vending machines. Yeah, no, they set on their own paths. Didn't work. Don't know what I'm doing with this yet, but I'm sure we'll find a use for it. And if we just go through the queue here, which I quite enjoy because of the natural lighting that you get with the less dense trees. You bored? Oh no, you're just laughing. Fair enough. Mate, you're looking at a tree. Oh, I really wanted to make the I can see the pub from here joke. Don't know who it's even from, and I won't do that accent again, I promise. But he was looking at a tree instead, so whatever. Oh, these two didn't talk to each other about what tops they were wearing. I've been in that situation with an old colleague of mine. Oh, wait, what am I talking about? It's Mike. He's on the channel. Me and Mike turned up to work one day wearing the exact same shirt. It was beautifully awkward, should we say. Anyway, Mike, you're going to enjoy that one when you listen to this video back later. Anyway, moving swiftly on. This ride is a drive tire launched one. So again, nothing drastically aggressive. Acceleration rates aren't the worst, but they're not, they're not hydraulic or LSM. launched, which I'm not going to get into with what they mean, but point is it's quite a gradual kind of nice linear acceleration, nothing too aggressive down there. This one again is obviously a adult and teen only ride. I think it does, yeah, no it doesn't. Yeah, there's literally a corkscrew right there. What am I talking about? I was trying to debate whether it went upside down or not. It does. Building wise, this one is just, it was just flat out modern. There was no nod towards the rest of the park. But the thing is it works. It works with the ride, it works with the area that I'm building up here. That's something that I'm going to stick to up here. So obviously some theme parks do stick to themed areas, so you know, you always have the western, the fairy tale, which is obviously our Planet Coaster splits it up as well. You get like the medieval, then you get all the beachy vibes with the water rides. So you can see what I'm getting at. There are, my areas are majestic, dense, less dense, sorted. Anyway, yeah, so this ride comes all the way down here. I've just put some trees just to outline it. That's just for my reference when I finally put the this path. What this path will do is it'll follow it around you, so it's not got a linear straight line, sharp angle paths, which isn't what the rest of the park follows. Obviously, big, massive curve here, and then just to have like a diagonal line going. That actually won't look right, would it? So, yeah, that's why these trees are here, is to put the path in eventually once I build up this side of the park. So this was the last ride I put in, solidly the last ride I physically built, because obviously they're pre-made. The static ones, I mean that one there. Oh bugger! Oh, it's all going to shit. Didn't want anything too long, but I did want something that was worth people's time. You know, you got quite a nice enjoyment out of it. Launches down, corkscrew, sidewinder, long sweeping curve into a serpentine, into a non-inverted loop, so that spins at the top, so you're not technically inverted. Go over a hump over here, drop down quite aggressively, and then come back up, and then you're back in the station. Nothing particularly too fancy, but nothing too aggressive at the same time. Wait, no, that's not right. Nothing too fancy, but nothing too low, too understated either. Yeah, and that's that. And this is obviously right at the park boundary. So you'll see that I am building to the boundaries just to use as much space as I can, because a lot of the in-between space is obviously trees up here. Don't ask me what I'm doing up here, I haven't figured that out yet, so we'll get there. And yeah, that pretty much wraps up where we're up to so far. So you've got all, I've got all of this, yeah. I've got all of this space up here. Got all of this. So yeah, there's a lot, and you'd be amazed at how many rides you can fit in here, in this space alone. Especially if I built a little bit more smartly, because I'm pretty sure I could have built this in this kind of a sector here, but I didn't. I knew I had space to work with. So that just leaves me at, what am I doing with this? Well, actually, I'm trying my luck with the headline ride. I'm not going to go through too many details, but I'm having issues with the building grids. Usually to build such a complicated ride with such a complicated scenery around it, you'd need to grid and subgrid, and complications that usually I won't bother with, but I've got a good idea in my mind. Something that I did on a previous park, so maybe I'd... No, I've lost my train of thought. I read a message on my phone and I lost my train of thought. No, that was it. Maybe I'll record it, maybe I won't. It'd be good for you lot to see the process of building this, because obviously at the minute all I've done is built the floors and built one level. here's to hoping that I'll do that, but I'm not going to put the effort to record and edit it and do it all for nothing, essentially. I'd rather get the headline building done, and then when I know I can do it a little bit more efficiently and don't have as much editing to do because it was just one linear start to finish, didn't have to stop, didn't have to do anything else. So we'll see. We will see. But that sums it up. And I never actually said what the purpose of the video was, other than just to tour you around. It was just this video is more here because I never built this part with the intention of showing it off, but I'm in the mood. You just go through a mood. You're like, yeah, you know what? I fancy making a video. And I was hoping I had one pre-recorded because usually I do. Usually I've got footage backed up to God knows when. But I actually got through most of it. I went through a bit of a purge to get rid of any footage that I'd recorded for the sake of it. Which reminds me, we do now have a second channel. That is SimK. It should be in the link below, but chances are it's not. But anyway, it's a channel just dedicated to flight sim. Which, if you know us in the channel, you know that I'm the flight sim guy. And we just want a different platform to post flight sim content on. I was going to say we. It's more of a me thing because obviously the other guys in the channel have been breaking. I was going to say breaking balls, but that's not the right. That's not the right thing. They've been working hard essentially. We brought on a new cast member, which was Connor. Mike's brother. He's been making all, as of when I recorded this, he'd been making Resident Evil stuff, and he's put in a shift. So fair play to him. And I don't want to tarnish that with boring flight sim content, because if you want that kind of content, you've got a dedicated channel for it. Whereas the main channel, Unicast, remains as a hub for all of the gameplay. So if that's the kind of stuff you're into, if you enjoy flight sim like I do, go and have a look at it. It is still it is still a part of Unicast. It's just more tailored to flight sim content, but it's mainly me, which is why it's not got the Unicast like aviation or something like that. It's tailored more to me, but it is still part of the Unicast family. So yeah, that pretty much wraps us up for this tour. I think I've talked to you for long enough. I know I've talked long enough. I need a drink. So if you want to see more of Planet Coaster, if you want to see this park progress, if you want to see a park from scratch, so I won't rebuild Pirine Park, but I'll happily build a brand new park. Whatever you want to see, if it's Planet Coaster, let us know down in the comments. I'll give them all a read, probably reply to most of you, if not all of you. And with any luck, we'll see you again in another video, and we'll start going through and start looking at building individual rides. But for now, I've been Kurtis. This has been Unicast. See you all real soon.